What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning into this video. Today's video is going to be on this 2018 Mitsubishi Mirage. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. And this is going to be my usual in-depth tour and short test drive. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start off as usual by checking out the exterior. You can see that it doesn't have fog lights, it's got fog light covers. It's got a chrome grille. I'm not sure if the badge was supposed to have chrome on it and just no longer does. Obviously it's silver. It does have little side indicators. And I truly wonder why manufacturers even put wheel covers on cars anymore, because they're just going to disappear eventually. You do have amber turn signals in the back, which is good. It's the way everything should be. It's pretty blobby, pretty inoffensive design. A little bit of an ouchie right there. More missing wheel covers. This is the newest car I've seen with this style door handles. Got your antenna in the back here. Nice slab of roof here. Same little indicator on the other side. Really, there's not much to say about the styling. It's blobby and bland and inoffensive, but not ugly. It's not terrible. Moving on now to the interior. Given that this car could be had for around $10,000, the interior is going to be exactly what you expect. There's a lot of plastic everywhere. Hardly any soft touch materials anywhere. But, you know, you get what you pay for. The seat's pretty decent. It's reasonably comfortable. You do have a keyless entry here, but it does not have a trunk popper, and it has the Mitsubishi logo on it. So I'll go and start it up. Let's see. There's your service indicator. It's got 108,917 miles on it. So your trip A, trip B. I'm assuming that's range. And this is your average fuel economy. You do have this screen here that can do various things. Got radio, got media. This would be for Bluetooth, or if you had a USB in. Phone, Bluetooth phone, setup. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. I don't know if this has that. And thanks to the federal government, you do have a backup camera, which is nice. Your climate control is a lovely three knob, 2-button, and a slider for your recirc, which is nice. You got temperature, fan speed, and your zones off to the right. And then one-touch AC and rear defrost. The dashboard obviously is all plastic, which is fine. You do have some nicer looking plastic trim, bezel around the screen and the climate controls. Got a glove box. The door panel continues the hard plastic theme. Got your lock and your window switch and a bottle opener and a storage cubby, as well as your speaker in there. You do have a 12-volt power outlet with a little cover. Some little storage. Some cup holders that actually look reasonably useful. The shifter, which is a jigsaw shifter. And there is a sport mode for the CVT. Also got the parking brake, just nice and tight. And then you have a pretty big cup holder back here, which for me would be really useful. And then the back seat, which we'll check out in just a second. And on the steering wheel, you got your hands-free phone controls, which I think is also courtesy of the federal government. And it has cruise control, which is nice. And your stocks are normal fare, turn signal, lights. It does not have automatic lights. And this little switch here are for the fog lights that don't exist. And then obviously you pull it for your brights. And then it does have intermittent wipers, variable intermittent wipers. And then it's your normal wiper affair. Very pipsqueak horn. This gauge cluster is a gauge cluster. It only has 2 gauges. I dislike the bar graph fuel gauge, and I dislike the lack of a true temperature gauge. And you saw that this little stalk here controls your displays. And I believe that this thing is the mic for your hands-free phone, which it's a little crude. I have no idea what this is for, what this thing's for. I have no idea what this could be. So let's check out the back seat now. Oh, and obviously on this door you have the exact same accompaniment of hard plastic. Got a decontented door lock. All your power windows and locks. You do have manual mirrors in this car. Got your speaker and then your bottle holder and your storage cubby. Moving on to the back seat. It looks really spacious. Wasn't expecting it to have this much space. I should have moved this box before I started filming. Oh yeah, there's a lot of room here. There is a map pocket on the back of the passenger seat. And you do have an armrest with cup holders, which is nice. Wasn't expecting that. And obviously the door panels are the same back here as they are up front. Got your window switch back here. And the decontented door lock again. Did I lock the door? Is the child lock on? What the hell happened? I am confused. Alright, I gotta figure out how to get out of the car now. Yeah, the child lock was on for some reason. And something I just noticed while I was trying to get out is the window goes all the way down, which is awesome. Good on them for that. I like that. We'll go ahead and pop the trunk and fuel door. The tether looks like it's a little broken, but there is a place to saddle the gas cap here. Kind of dirty in there. You got a reasonably, probably smaller than the trunk in my Accord, but obviously you can fit stuff in it, and obviously it has the gooseneck hinges instead of struts. But it's not too bad. And I'm sure these seats fold. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. Hopefully that's not, maybe, is that the trunk light? It is the trunk light. Okay. I wonder why that was unplugged. But alright. There's no carpeting back here, and this is your let me out switch. I wonder if these back seats fold. Doesn't look like it though. I'm gonna assume no. I don't see a keyhole or anything, but it does have anchors for a child seat. Alrighty, let's check out the engine. Alright, this I think is one of the most interesting parts of this car. This is a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder that makes 72 horsepower and 72 foot-pounds of torque. See it vibrating a little bit. There's your alternator. The battery, which is almost as large as the engine. See a little tiny little valve cover. And your oil fill. This big ass bar here, I'm assuming has the radiator underneath of it. This fan, coolant reservoir. I think it's brake booster right there. Washer fluid. And from what I can tell, these things have been reliable. I haven't heard any horror stories about them. And the owner of this car hasn't had any problems with the motor. He has had problems, but not motor related, and we'll get to that. And there's a rip in peace, that guy. That's the engine. And all that's left to do now is to drive the son of a bitch. All right. We're driving the Mirage. First impression is the throttle response is a lot better than you expect it to be. Obviously it has a CVT, which I detest, and we'll get into why I detest that. But this one doesn't feel that terrible. The 3-cylinder is not very refined. It makes a lot of noise, and it vibrates, and it does all kinds of nonsense. And obviously it doesn't have that much power, but it's got enough power. The brakes feel really tight, which is good. They feel a lot tighter than the brakes on my Honda. And even with 108,000 miles in less than 4 years, this thing still feels solid. Like, the suspension feels solid and it doesn't rattle. There's no clunking or any nonsense going on. Not too bad. Especially for a super cheap car. I apologize that these windows are so effing dirty. If you guys can't get better view of what I'm seeing. I'm driving this in Smyrna, Georgia, which is a bit south of where I live. But the CVT is weird. It feels odd. It doesn't make sense. Like, it feels like it shifts, but it doesn't shift because it has no gears. But there's like a hesitation there, which feels like a shift. And I don't know, it could be broken, who knows. This is the second CVT that this car has been through. The first one went out at 90 some odd thousand miles, and now it's got 108,000 miles. The owner of this car uses it to deliver pizzas, just like I do. And he's a good friend of mine. So this thing it's just gotten a ton of miles put on it. It's either, I think it's a 2017, and in 4 years it's gone 108,000 miles, which is quite a bit. But on the road here, it's reasonably quiet. I know we're only going 30, and we're just sitting in traffic here at the lights. But it's reasonably quiet. There is a bit of road noise, but it's a tin box. It's a super cheap car. The steering wheel feels like it's leather wrapped, which is nice, and it does have some trim on it. The 3-cylinder doesn't vibrate as much as I was expecting it to. It's actually a nice smooth idle. This car actually does have power mirrors. I was wrong about that. It also has traction control, which I wasn't expecting. And it has cruise control, which is nice. It's better than my Honda. Although my Honda has cruise control, but it doesn't work. One thing that keeps happening is when I accelerate and the transmission does its weird hesitation, an eco light comes on in the gauge cluster. See, there it is. Just came on. I don't know if you can turn that off. If you could, I would. Not a fan of eco modes. It corners nice and flat. The one corner I make at below 20 miles an hour. Yeah, not a ton of power, but it does what you need it to do. It'll keep up with traffic. It'll get up to speed just fine, but it's definitely not. No one would claim it to be fast. I don't think anyone who's driving a car with 72 horsepower would claim it to be fast. Climate control, see how that works. You can really feel it when the compressor comes on. And these vents can't be closed for whatever reason. The CVT in this is a Jatco CVT, which, for anybody who's in the know, Jatco is a byword for it will break. There is a crack in the windshield that I just noticed. You can hear the 3-cylinder and all of its potency. And it does have enough power. It gets up hills just fine. It's really not bad. It is loud though. I bet you on the highway that it drones like crazy. And the owner of this car has driven it on the highway a bunch. He's taken it, I mean, we live in Georgia, and he's taken it to California. He's taken it to Nevada a bunch. He's been to Ohio a bunch. He's picked one of the worst cars to do a ton of cross-country trips in. But at least it has cruise control. It could not have cruise control. It's probably very, very loud, though. This thing's definitely better suited for delivering pizza than it is for driving cross-country. I don't really understand the purpose of this screen. Yeah, it does have a backup camera, which is good. If it didn't have a backup camera, it would be completely pointless. A screen without a backup camera is a completely pointless object. And I guess it has everything you need, nothing you don't. These cars have developed a reputation for being a cheap shitbox, which they are, but they're also good shitboxes. These cars are loyal friends to the people who own them. You know, they work, they're reliable. You know, transmission notwithstanding, get the stick shift. And they're good cars, and I like them. And, you know, for what you're paying for, it's really not too bad. Because it's a roof, it's protection from the elements, and it feels well made. Surprisingly enough, it feels solid. You know, there's no clunks or rattles or anything. Everything's tight in here. It's really not bad. But you guys know me, you know I like everything. Give it a little gas here. And foot to the floor. Oh yeah, it is not fast. Well, the CVT works. The CVT did CVT things. But it is not fast. And I just missed my turn. That's wonderful. Alright, well, that's gonna do it for this video. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this not in-depth tour, but tour and test drive of this Mitsubishi Mirage. And hopefully I'm gonna try to have more videos for you soon. It's just hard for me to find cars. So my friends aren't always willing to just let me drive them. But my goal, New Year's resolution, is to film a bunch more cars and get a bunch more videos out for you guys. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Thank you for watching.